One take, one shot. This is my Wrestlemania 41 Night 2 review where I only do it in one take, no cuts, one shot to get it right. And if a burglar comes in while I'm filming, and he asks me, hey man, where's the money? I'm going to be like, I don't know, let me help you look. Because boy howdy, I'm broke and maybe we could find some change in the couch if we work as a team. But if that doesn't happen, then let's just plow through and see how I felt about Night 2. And if you're new to the channel or you're old to the channel even, you're a veteran of the channel, comment below because I'm going to give away this belt at 20,000 subscribers. And to enter, all you got to do is comment. Every video, just comment, and that's a new entry. And when I hit 20,000 subscribers, I'm going to give it away. Literally give it away. So comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, ding, 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 notification, and a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. Trying to quit the day job. Help me out. Let me put this down real quick, and I'm back. Okay, so night one. Well, let's talk about night one for a second. I thought night one, I ranked it 8 out of 10, and I'm just gonna keep that ranking. However, what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna change it up. I am not gonna compare night 2 to all of my past WrestleManias. I have seen 36 WrestleManias now, and so I don't want to compare it because you know what? Tonight's not going to measure up to WrestleMania 18, so we're just going to compare tonight in its own little bubble. It's just we're going to compare night 1, night 2 maybe to each other, but we're looking at today, but I'm going to use my vast wrestling knowledge that's my way of low-key bragging, but also saying I'm a giant nerd because I do nonstop have just watched wrestling for 36 years, but I'm going to use that knowledge to kind of look at today's WrestleMania and judge it based on today with a bias of yesteryear. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, then sorry. I can't cut out the stuff that don't make sense because, well, one take, one shot. Let's start off with the first match, and that was a banger. Oh my gosh, this was such a good match. I really wanted Bianca to win, but when it was all said and done, I couldn't complain because the match made very much logical sense. I'm okay with my person not winning if it makes sense, and it definitely did make sense. And everybody, it's hard to argue. This match was just so freaking good. Now, I will say, I didn't like that Io Sky came out first. In my mind, the champion always comes out last. But here's the deal. We kind of discovered something. We broke the code. you know how whoever is the loser of the go-home show ends up winning at WrestleMania? Not always, but it happens. We discovered that if the champion came out first, they would win. But if the champion came out last, like they're supposed to, they would lose. And so we watched it all night long, and it was 100%. Cody came out last. Braun Breaker came out last, but Io Sky came out first. Io retained, the other two lost. So, there you go. That may be a new trope, but either way, Io Sky is facing Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. I'll say in the beginning, there was this spot where Io was just not present, and I was like, it's way too early for her to just be one punched out of a triple threat, because that's what happens in a lot of triple threats. They just punch the opponent real quick, and then it becomes one-on-one, and then the triple threat starts again. They punch another opponent out, and then it's one-on-one again, and they just rinse, repeat, and sleep. What is it? Eat, sleep, repeat, rinse. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's just a pattern, and they keep doing that pattern. But after that, they didn't really do that, and it became more or less, it was a lot of Bianca Rhea with Io jumping in, and then either Io would get some offense or Io would just get ragdolled. Then there was this one sequence where it was Io was over here, and Rhea got her over there, and then Bianca instantly threw her in her move. What is it? The KOD? Is she the KOD? And yeah, so really good stuff. When it was all said and done, Bianca was pinning Rhea, and then out of nowhere, Io pretty much did some offense and made Bianca lose. Bianca lost, and I thought that sucked though. I thought that sucked because I love Bianca Belair and she was getting booed. Not gonna lie. Oh man, I don't know why she's getting booed so much. I think honestly, I do know why she's getting booed. I think the fans are I think they're bored of her character and just want something new. That aside, we'll save that for hot takes maybe. Excuse me. One take, one shot. Can't cut that out. I apologize. If you want me to cut out coughs in the future, let me know in the comments below. But what I was saying is, what was I saying? Think Pooh Bear, Winnie the Pooh Bear. Sorry, I'm I've never been really fully diagnosed with ADD, but people have said, dude, you have the worst case of ADHD I've ever seen. And I'm like, well, I've made it this far, might as well not get it diagnosed. So what was I saying though? I started coughing. Bianca Belair, they were booing her, and she did get booed. But the end of the day, I wanted her to win because A, I love Bianca Belair, and B, she was 4-0 at WrestleMania. I don't think we should have sacrificed that. I really don't think we should have sacrificed that. No matter what the play was, if we wanted Io to win, then we should have just put Bianca in some other match. I really, really hate that record is now gone. There's nobody else who is now undefeated at WrestleMania. There's only 3 people: Grande Americano, Grayson Waller, and Michael Cole. And I think Michael Cole is no longer actually an active wrestler. That's just a suspicion, but you never know. Chelsea Green has said that she does want to have an intergender match with Michael Cole. Chris Van Vliet, look it up. It's her second interview. Love Chris Van Vliet, love Chelsea Green, love Michael Cole. Anyways, let's move on. Then we go. I don't even know why I got this in my hand. It literally says "Son of Haku." I want to tell you though that yesterday's WrestleMania review, I forgot to mention that Ming Haku was there, and I loved that. So I'm mentioning it now, fixing that mistake. Then we go. Io wins. Good job, Io. Hate that Bianca lost her streak, but everything made sense. It was good. It was definitely good. I think Bianca can now go to her feud with Naomi and Jade Cargill, and then maybe Rhea and Io can continue their feud. Then we had Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. This was a street fight. Drew McIntyre was he came out with some more 3D printed gear. I just feel like the gear that they put on the wrestlers this year as they came out for the most part looked bad. Now, Bianca's looked good, but I heard Bianca makes her own stuff, but Drew's McIntyre it looked cheap. But whatever. If you're getting paid that kind of money, you can pay me I'll wear anything if you pay me enough. So then it was a really good match. This was a good match. There was a couple good spots. Damian Priest threw the stairs. I love when they throw the stairs at a wrestler because, God, just imagine you're walking by and just stairs come at your face. That's hilarious. Then we had a spot where Drew McIntyre, he somehow got Damian Priest down, and he starts texting. He grabs the phone from his brother, and he texts "still bored at work." That's a callback to last year when he was fighting Seth Rollins, and he actually said "bored at work." So that was for Twitter. That was awesome. And we had a spot, it was old school, where Damian Priest, he walks the ropes holding the hand. He's going to do a crossbody, but Drew pushes him, and he pushes him into tables that were already set up from earlier on. And Drew at this point was bleeding on the back. Very light bleeding. Nothing crazy, but it was legit. And then he pulls basically Damian Priest in. There was a chair already set up in the ring corner, and he Claymore kicks him right there, and Damian Priest loses. I would have really liked if Drew McIntyre had shook Damian Priest's hand afterwards, because I think that would have helped Drew McIntyre. That could have helped elevate Drew even in a loss. I mean, Damian Priest. Drew could have helped elevate Damian Priest in a loss, but it didn't happen. Not the end of the world, because if he did that, that would have made Drew McIntyre a face, but I don't think it's a bad thing for Drew to be a face, especially with a heel John Cena now as your champion. Oops, spoiler alert. But if we have, I think that would have been good. I stand by that. I think Drew could have shook Damian Priest's hand. Didn't ruin the match for me. It was a good match. Definitely a good match. One of the few matches that actually had a pretty decent storyline going in, surprisingly, because, okay, good. For a second I thought I wasn't. I was like, oh no, I'm not recording. But I am. So, it was pretty decent storyline, and yet it was kind of sort of like, I wish there would have been something at the end for Damian Priest, but he won, and that was the right call. Drew McIntyre won, because God forbid, if he would have rolled up Drew McIntyre, I would have crashed out. But he didn't. Drew won. Great job, Drew. Then we go to the Fatal 4-Way. Braun Breaker. We got Braun Breaker. Sorry, it's been a long weekend. Finn Balor took the pin, of course. We got Rey Mysterio's son, Dominic Mysterio, or Eddie Guerrero's son, Dominic Mysterio, and Cielo Mieto, Penta. This was a great match. Braun Breaker just seems like he belongs in the 80s, in an 80s locker room. Just that tough guy wrestler. But no, we got him now. And someone said, like, it would have been so cool if he had came out with chainmail, and that would have been, the sirens, Big Papa Pump, holla if you hear me, comes out with a tiger also, call back to Scott Steiner WCW days. But no, he came out normal, and he kicked butt, man, he kicked butt. His spears just go crazy. Carlito came out and he speared him, like he ran across the tables, and those tables are hard to run across now. They weren't like before. They have like a slant on them, and he ran across, speared Carlito. Penta got his moves in. Fans were definitely cheering Dominic Mysterio, and this was kind of a repeat though. So this is kind of a bad thing in that they repeated the finish to the triple threat, in that Dominic was pinning Finn Balor was pinning, I can't remember. I think he was pinning Braun Breaker, but he might have been pinning Penta. I can't really remember at the moment, but he was pinning somebody, right? And Bianca was pinning Rhea, and then out of nowhere came Dominic Mysterio. Out of nowhere came Io Sky, and Io Sky gets the pin, Dominic Mysterio gets the pin. Now, I will tell you, in the moment, I didn't care. Somebody pointed that out to me. I was very much like, woo! This is awesome. Dominic Mysterio wins the Intercontinental Champion. Great stuff, because Braun doesn't take the pin. Unfortunately, though, Finn Balor does, of course. There are some guarantees in life. It's death, taxes. Sante Zap says it's Charlotte Flair coming back and winning titles, but I think it's actually not Charlotte Flair, but it's Finn Balor takes the pin. Those are your three constants in life, and I'm not saying I like that. I actually love Finn Balor, but unfortunately, then I keep picking this up. Get out of here. But then, what happened? God, I missed my notebook already. It was my comfort notebook, like a teddy bear. Ma, teddy bear. Then, so yeah, they repeated the finish, but I didn't care. Dominic Mysterio won, and it was such a cool moment because, like, I don't know. I remember when Dominic first started. He first started in the 2020 when there were no fans, and it was SummerSlam, Seth Rollins, and it was like cool. It was a good story, but then it's like Dominic overstayed his welcome, and he was just this like really clean cut Rey Mysterio's nepo baby, and it was just like we didn't like him. He was just such. It was like boo, boo Dominic Mysterio, and then he got involved with the Judgment Day, and it was kind of weird, but like let's see how it goes. And slowly but surely, he became the most over guy on the roster, but being booed, and now being cheered by 63,000 people and winning the Intercontinental Championship. It was such a cool deal. I'm just so happy and proud of the guy. He was walking down the aisle, and I think he got caught up in the emotion of the thing, and ran back into the ring and held the title up, and I'm glad he did that. I'm glad he got caught up in the emotion. It was very, I love that. I love that for Dominic Mysterio. And it was also brought to you by Dude Wipes, so that was funny because Dude Wipes, Dominic Mysterio. I don't know why that was so funny to me, but it was funny. Then, so right now, instantly, me and my chat were like, this night 2 is so much better than night 1. Night 1, I critiqued it and was like, it was very safe. It was a safe WrestleMania, and except for the end. The end was like crazy awesome. But this one, it was just like, I guess maybe it was still kind of safe, but it wasn't at the same time. You know, Dominic Mysterio won, Io won, but there was just an energy. The crowd was also more alive. I don't know if it's because, the poor people, us poor people can only afford one night, so we buy night 2, and so the real fans showed up, and maybe night 2 or night 1 was just a bunch of rich snobs. I don't know. Maybe, because you know how the Super Bowl is just full of people who are there for the football experience, but not the true fans. So, I mean, some are, but like, it's not the true fans that are buying the tickets every Sunday. Well, that's like night 1, where those are the rich people just sitting on their hands because the crowd showed up night 2, and it was awesome and amazing. And if you got a lot of money, I'm not like making fun of you or anything. In fact, you want to join the Patreon because I could use some money. I wouldn't mind being so rich that I can just sit on my hands, but nope. I need calluses. So anyways, it was just, the crowd really made it, and I was just so enjoying night 2. Then we go to AJ Styles versus Logan Paul, and ironically, this was supposed to be like the match of the night, right? The match of the weekend, because it was AJ Styles. And to be fair, whether you love or hate Logan Paul, he delivers in his matches. And I gotta say that this match kind of really slowed down the pace. I wouldn't say it was a bad match, but I also wouldn't be like, because of the 3 matches that came before, it was almost like, wow, this is going to be the worst match of the night. And so, yeah, they went at it. It was good. It was okay. Nothing wrong with it. I'm happy though. We finally got, what's his name? What's the guy? Karrion Kross. He comes out and he's trying to give brass knuckles that one of Logan Paul's friends was trying to give him brass knuckles, but then Karrion Kross came and was trying to give those same brass knuckles to AJ Styles, and AJ, he throws it down or something, gets back in the ring, and Logan Paul wins. I did call this. I said that if Karrion Kross comes out, I thought Karrion would cheat and maybe Logan Paul would side with him, but no, it looks like AJ Styles was distracted because of Karrion Kross. He loses, and I bet Karrion Kross will now be like, see, I told you, because of you wouldn't listen, and now the YouTuber won. And so I bet they feud based on that, so Karrion Kross can still hate Logan Paul, but he can just direct his hate now towards AJ Styles. So it looks like Karrion Kross actually has a feud going forward, so that's amazing. Like, it's a WrestleMania miracle. Karrion Kross has a storyline that he can actually be the center in and not just be whispering in someone's ear. So, yeah, AJ Styles, he loses, which is crazy. AJ Styles is phenomenal. Pun intended, and he lost to Logan Paul, but the match was just it was so-so, but then again, the build was also so-so. Let's be honest, the build wasn't anything special, but it was the downer match of the night so far, but again, not horrible, just not on par with the other matches, which I guess is saying just how good the other matches were. Then we had the tag team match. I forgot. I almost forgot. I think before this, we had Randy Orton come out. Randy Orton comes out and he's like, all right, this is number 20 for me. Who am I going to face? And I thought, now I feel bad, but I literally thought that I thought KO was playing us the whole time. Like, you can even go back on my channel. I'm like, yeah, I'm calling it KO. It's going to be KO. So, unfortunately, KO is, like, legit injured, and that sucks. God, I wish he was, like, just gonna come out and just call us all stupid, but no, he's really injured, and so KO, I apologize for not believing in you, and I hope you nothing but a speedy recovery. And so who's it gonna be, and say his name, and he appears, and then we get Joe Hendry, which is amazing and awesome, and just like, what? The TNA champion? Now, someone did point out a very good fact. Let me go further. So the TNA champion comes out. He gets some offense. I think this was like a 5-minute match maybe. And Randy Orton, he gives him a really cool. There was a cool spot where, because you know how this is what you know. He turns around. That's what Joe Hendry does. He does this. He's here, and then he turns around, and it's like, cool, that's part of his thing. And well, one time he did that, and it was RKO, and 1, 2, 3. But then Randy Orton, out of a show of respect, is like, look at all these fans. This is your moment, dude. And then he RKOs him again. And that's a Randy Orton thing. Don't trust Randy Orton. He's a Viper. But the thing is, Joe Hendry is the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. So some people, and I think this is a fair criticism, even though I like what happened, that it was kind of burying TNA. That's your champion. He loses in 5 minutes to Randy Orton. And not just that, but that second RKO maybe was a little uncalled for. So while, yes, it was great for Randy Orton, that's one person. That's one human. TNA was represented by Joe Hendry, so Joe Hendry was a representation of more than just one person. So while it didn't really make me mad when it was brought to my attention later by when it was brought to my attention later by Mark, oh gosh, I'm forgetting the name right now. I'm so sorry. I'm forgetting the name right now. But he lives in Michigan, and he invited me to his house to watch Wrestlemania, so I really appreciate that. But so, I'm just blanking on the name right now, and it's one take, one shot, so I apologize. But he pointed out that to me, and I was like, you're right. I can see why a lot of TNA fans would be upset by this. Even though it was super cool that Joe Hendry was there, it did kind of sort of make the heavyweight champion of the title look bad. So if you are a TNA fan and you are upset, I do think you have a valid concern. It doesn't affect me that much, but I can understand why you would be upset. Then we go, I'm not sure if that match was before or after the Logan Paul match, but then we go to the tag team, the women tag team match, and this one, Bayley was taken out. Kayfabe injury, which I think is very disrespectful, because whether or not Becky Lynch was the right call, because it was like Becky and Lyra have a built-in storyline. They're definitely friends, and Lyra and Liv Morgan was the last person to beat Becky. There was a built-in story for Becky to be inserted, but the problem is, if Bayley wasn't really injured, I feel that's very disrespectful. Yesterday, Rey Mysterio was injured, and he was replaced by Rey Fenix. That wasn't disrespectful because Ray couldn't compete. Now, maybe it was disrespectful to Dragon Lee because Dragon Lee should have probably been the one slotted in, but that's a whole different conversation. It was not disrespectful to Rey Mysterio. But if Bayley wasn't really injured, to just say, yeah, we're just, you put in all this work all year long, and now we're just going to bump you in storyline-wise. Say you're attacked the night before WrestleMania, and then just slot in someone else. To Bayley, that's disrespectful. Now, I will say this, though. That said, the insertion of Becky to this match did give it an energy that it did not have before. Someone returned. It was new. It was fresh. It was exciting. And then we had the match. It was good. Raquel Rodriguez, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but she is good. She is good. Raquel Rodriguez is actually good now, and I don't know when it happened. I remember in December she sucked. I really remember her sucking, but now I can only remember her being good, and Raquel Rodriguez did a fantastic job. Liv Morgan, always doing a fantastic job. One Slammy of the year, Woman of the Year, and deserved it, and this time, she deserved it too. There was a moment in the match where Raquel was pinning Lyra or Becky, and off camera, Liv went to get the belts because she was sure that they had won. And I love that because you never know when the camera is on you. Liv Morgan is owning her character at all times. So I love that those little attention to details are so powerful to a wrestling character and a wrestling storyline and a wrestling match. Ultimately, though, Becky won, and some people, even in my chat, were like, oh, Lyra doesn't deserve 2 belts. And then Twitter blowing up saying, oh, Becky Hogan. And it's weird to me that these wrestlers from like, Bianca, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, even a lot of these wrestlers who've been consistently on camera for a long time now are getting like booed or getting like just getting turned on. And it's kind of weird. I think Becky has put in a lot of time and effort into putting people over. Becky has put people over. The reason why Lyra's on the map, one of the reasons is because Becky went to NXT and put her over. So it's just crazy to me that she's just completely getting crapped on. It's one thing to not like Becky Lynch, but it's another thing to think that she is holding talent down and she doesn't deserve her spot. I don't really like Bayley, but I'm like, we need to keep Bayley strong, and it was disrespectful for her to be pushed off the card like she was. So it's like we need to be able to separate and not just lump everything together and say, oh, I don't like your character, but I don't like you as a human. It's just weird that it seems like people are just like getting on Becky for like wrong reasons, and I don't fully understand it. If you're one of the people, please let me know in the comments below. If you're just like I'm bored with her character, that's fine. But if you're just like, oh, she's Becky Hogan, then let me know why. But like take into consideration all the people she did put over. And so Becky won. It was a moment, and Twitter meltdown. Then we go to the main event. The main event is John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. John Cena comes out to no fanfare whatsoever, just pretty much a black entrance with his name. And that's cool because he said, I'm not giving you guys nothing new. I'm just like, whatever. You deserve nothing new. He comes down, right? Then Cody Rhodes comes down, and it was like dirt bikes. I don't know why there were dirt bikes, but there were dirt bikes. And then he has a helmet. Some people thought it was cheesy. I thought it was kind of cool. The helmet opened up. He puts it down. I guess there's a new action figure or something that costs $45, and someone in the chat's kid wants it. So like mission accomplished, $45, pay up, right? Then we have the match. The match was slow. I'm going to say this. This was like Starrcade 97. This was a WCW main event pay-per-view where the undercard was amazing and awesome. And then the main event was slow, and even if the right winner won, which I do believe John Cena should have won, I'm glad that John Cena won, but it was very slow to get there. And I get it. John Cena, he said he's going to not give the fans what he wants, and I'm glad they actually did say that because it does give them an out, but I just feel it was like too slow. And I also understand practicality-wise why they actually probably did it, in that John Cena probably can't go 35 minutes in a match anymore because of, he's older, he's not wrestling all the time, he's had 2 matches this year, so he probably just can't do it. So, in my opinion, what they should have done was, instead of giving us a 30 to 35 minute really slow match, they should have gave us a 10 to 15 minute match and just like crank it out, because the main event of night 1 was way better than night 2, and it's okay. It's okay to not give us 40-minute matches at WrestleMania because you just got to work with what you've got. And working with what you got isn't taking, then we'll just make it a really slow 30-minute match. No, just make it a high-impact 10-minute match. Like, I hate to even consider giving Goldberg a compliment, but, you guys know how to book Goldberg at least. The guy can't go more than 3 minutes, so you book him in a 2-minute and 30-second match. John Cena probably could do 12 minutes, so give him a crazy, awesome 12-minute match. We didn't need Travis Scott walking out for like 6 minutes, we didn't need the weakest ref bumps of all time. I love that John Cena won, I really do, but it was just slow and laborious, and especially considering how high impact the rest of the night had been, it's like crazy that it was just such a drag, and it's like some people liked it, I'm sure, but again, I feel that they went the wrong way in covering for John Cena's weaknesses. We didn't have to do a slow 30-minute match. A fast 10-minute match. That's how it should have been. Impact. Also, I am going to say, I don't like that The Rock didn't show up. You're telling me that The Rock, who masterminded the greatest heel turn, one of the greatest heel turns of all time, he doesn't show up? I get it. He wasn't advertised, but give me a break. The dude showed up at the Elimination Chamber, turned John Cena heel, and he doesn't show up. That's not cool. I'm officially I am mad at The Rock. Like, I am mad at The Rock. I know he doesn't care. I know he really doesn't care. But it's like, it's definitely not cool. Like, you can't, like, he just showed up, literally asked for Cody Rhodes' soul, throws everything into whack, and then turns John Cena heel, and we don't see him again. But then he sends Travis Scott. Like, that just doesn't really fully make sense. Like, if I try hard enough, yeah, I can make it make sense. Oh, that's just The Rock's too important to be there. That's why he sent Travis Scott. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, it wasn't cool. It wasn't cool that he showed up for Elimination Chamber. If he knew he wasn't going to be at WrestleMania, he should have just let Netflix be his final appearance, all right? I'm sorry, The Rock. I know you're the man. I know you're the man and the most famous person in the world, and so everything. You are everything, The Rock, but it's not cool for you to, like, if you have an extra 5 minutes on a Monday to show up, okay? Like, WWE can't be your hobby, dude, because it's just, it's just not cool. It's just not cool. There's storylines in play. You got to let things play out. You can't just flip John Cena and say, peace out, never see you again. John Cena's heel turn could have happened exactly the way it did and made more sense if The Rock wasn't part of it. We could have literally had everything the same with the exception of The Rock being there. At Elimination Chamber, we could have been like, Cody Rhodes comes out and hugs John Cena, and then John Cena just kicks him in the grapefruits. Literally, that could have happened. And everything else could have played out the exact same, I guess, minus Travis Scott as well. And it's just like, oh man, it's just, I don't like that The Rock wasn't there. I kept just, like, he should be there. It just makes sense. It's not me being like, oh, well, you should that's your fault for having expectations on The Rock. No, The Rock is the reason why I had expectations. He came into the storyline. He purposely came into the storyline. It'd be like you telling me, it'd be like this. If I showed up to watch WrestleMania and there was no referee. And I'm like, where's the referee? And the fact that, and then they just start the match and there's never a referee. And then I get mad that there's no referee. And you're like, well, whoever advertised a ref, that's on you for having set expectations of a ref being there. No. Like, based on the past, I know that there's supposed to be a ref. Based on The Rock showing up to be such an integral part of this, I want your soul, and then flip John Cena storyline, The Rock should have been here at the climax. And I don't care if The Rock shows up in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. No, we're talking WrestleMania. This is the biggest deal. WrestleMania is the biggest deal, and whatever. I'm over that. I'm not over it. I'm still definitely under it, but I'm moving on from the subject. End of the day, The Rock. No, not The Rock. I guess I'm not over it. John Cena won in a match that was slow, but I'm glad for the outcome. And so it was definitely, congratulations, Cena. You wanted to draw on, like, Hogan heat. You definitely drew on Hogan heat. You had, like, the worst match on the card, and then you won the championship. So if that was your goal, then you definitely accomplished it. And the undercard definitely carried this PLE. I'm still going to give this a solid... let's see. So I loved the undercard more than night one, but the night one main event was better. I'm just going to give it another 8. I'm going to give it another 8 chops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 chops. If that match had been 20 minutes shorter and they would have done a couple more power moves, this could have easily been a 9. But I'm going to give it an 8. 8 out of 10 chops. I really, really enjoyed myself, though. I did really enjoy myself for the most part. And I'm glad John Cena won. I was happy when John Cena won. I just didn't, like, yell to the top of my lungs because I was just like, oh, okay, I guess it's over now. Moving on. So, like, if you go watch a match, though, definitely watch the first 3 matches. The first 3 matches were really, really good. awesome. And then Logan Paul and AJ, and even the tag match were decent enough. They were decent enough. But the first 3 matches, just absolute bangers. And then watch the last 5 minutes of the John Cena match, because that the last 5 minutes were decent. But yeah, so that's my review. Hopefully it wasn't too negative. If it was, let me know. I'm trying to be like fair and honest and not just be like negative, but I don't want to be just like, heaping praises on WWE in hopes that one day they call me and say, hey Ken, we really like that you glaze us all the time, so we're gonna bring you on board, because I make no mistakes about it. I'll never be hired by WWE. However, I love WWE, so like I just want to be fair and down the middle and tell you how I feel, and this is how I feel. So please comment below how you feel, and comment below how you feel about how I feel. Boys, girls, I hope you like the one-take, one-shots. I think I rambled a little much in the beginning, but hopefully it's somehow, some way entertaining. Boys, girls, have yourselves a wonderful day. See you for Hot Takes tomorrow, and then Monday Night Raw, and then Hot Takes, and then, and then I'll do 3 hot, 3 not. Actually, I'll probably do more than that, but regardless, I'll see you around. See you, bye.